Buddy to the 1987 Supermod. I'm your host, as always, Brad Drake, and today we are dealing with part 2 of our television tapings for the first and second week of November 1987. Obviously, our venue is set from the last episode, and we are ready to roll here. Let's take a look at our first match and see how we're thrown off here again. Now we're taping Championship Wrestling first. We just taped All-Star Wrestling first. Now we taped All-Star Wrestling. Then we taped Championship Wrestling. Now we're taping Championship Wrestling. And then All-Star Wrestling afterwards. I'm glad I checked. Otherwise, I once again would have been booking the wrong show. So our opening match here is going to be Van Horne versus Sonny Rogers. There he is, the great grappler Van Horne. Totally has that Camaro starter mullet going, that part down the middle. Pretty good stuff. It's definitely an 80s look. And Sonny Rogers, the future Mr. TV Guide. But at this point in time, Sonny Rogers was working for the AWA. And he was also in Chicago as one of the trainers for Windy City Wrestling. Mike Luca and Ringo will take on the Nasty Boys. And you can rest assured that the Nasty Boys will beat the ever-living shit out of these two enhancement talents. Because that's what the Nasty Boys did. Look at that. Ringo was already booked in there. There's Mike Luca. We switch over to tag team view. The Nasty Boys. There we go. We're going to give Jerry Sags the win. Change things up a little bit. All right, this enhancement match is booked. Moving right along. Jenni Garcia is going to face the World Women's Champion, who is none other than Sherri Martel. There is Garcia. There's Sherri Martel. And as you know, Sherri Martel recaptured that title in quite some controversy, in which President Stanley Blackburn had to get involved and declare the title vacant after Sherri had won it under some strange doings. He stripped the title, vacated it, and then called for a follow-up match between Wendy Richter and Sherri Martel, and Sherri Martel defeated Wendy Richter to once again lay claim to the title. Tom Fuller is going to mix it up with Greg Gagne here. Let's go ahead and get Tommy Fuller in there. There's Greg Gagne. For those of you, if you do big TV tapings like this and you don't want to double use wrestlers, it helps to click this exclude already booked. Because as I've shown you before, sometimes we come up on guys and they're not there, you got to use somebody else. You don't want to double book them if you don't have to. It's not necessary. So there we go. Greg Gagne, of course, is going to get the win, especially because we are in Minneapolis. So it looks like the last time we did TV tapings, we ran out of the auditorium. So I messed up. I went back to the Sports Pavilion. We could have gotten a better crowd if we used the auditorium. So we'll just pay better attention to that next time. Scotty Williams is going to get in there against the wily veteran Baron von Raschke. Baron von Raschke did not look the greatest physically at this point in time, but he did wrestle like another 4 years here. Maybe even longer. I think he even took some spot matches into the mid to late 90s too. I always liked the Baron. Thought he was good. He was another guy that if you watch him, he was never out of position in the ring. Even when he got older and was slow, he was just never out of position. I also liked that brief little stint he had in the WWF when he worked for the WWF as the Baron. All right, Larry Zbyszko is going to cut a promo here. And we're going to give Larry, we're going to give Larry the full 6 minutes. Because he's the best talker that we have lined up here. And of course, we're recording Championship Wrestling, so it's going to be Larry Zbyszko and Larry Nelson. 2 Larrys. And Larry Zbyszko, of course, is going to be talking trash about Scott Hall. If I can get to him. And Curt Hennig. Zbyszko is going to be based on microphone. Nelson is going to be non-rated. He's there. And Hall and Hennig are going to be off-screen. So we're just changing things up a little bit here to take advantage of the situation. Julio Rodriguez is going to face Larry Zbyszko. Rodriguez has those wicked sideburns. We're going to see them. I think if you watch this, the last video in this one, I think you'll see why we're going to bring in some fresh enhancement talent. We're starting to use these guys quite a bit, and the crowd is getting pretty familiar with them. So we're going to bring in some fresh meat. We're not going to give up on these guys. We're going to keep them in the rotation, but we're going to bring in some fresh enhancement talent. That way, maybe you can go a week or two without seeing the same enhancement talents. All right, Larry Zbyszko is going to get the win here, of course. Sergeant Slaughter and Jimmy Snuka are going to cut their promo. They are not in a formal feud with anybody. So this is just going to be an open mic for them with Larry Nelson, of course. So we're going to base Sergeant Slaughter off of microphone. Going to base Jimmy Snuka off of overness. And Larry Nelson is not going to be rated. So obviously our next match here is going to be David Koorijian versus Jimmy Snuka. We figured out that last name, didn't we? We struggled with that one for a little while. Koorijian. That's simple. And there is Jimmy Snuka, who is still wildly popular in our territory and is our #2 merchandise seller. So the more Snukas on TV, the better it is for us. All right, that match is booked up, and now the Midnight Rockers are going to have a promo. And of course, they're in that feud with the Midnight Express, so we got a lot of names to put in here. We've got Marty Jannetty, Shawn Michaels, Larry Nelson. Of course, it doesn't matter what order you put these names in. I'm just weird, and I like to do everything orderly and neat and clean, which I'm sure a lot of you have noticed. So we have a lot of options here of what we can base these guys off of. Why don't we try basing Jannetty, because we have not been able to get good numbers with them. Why don't we try basing them off of selling and see if it does us any good? So our main event, of course, is the rematch for the title, which is going to be the Midnight Express versus the Midnight Rockers, who are our reigning World Tag Team Champions, as you saw from a few videos ago of the tour in Winnipeg. So here's our two teams. Midnight Express, bam. Midnight Rockers, bam. Let's get it on. This one is going to be a draw because television is only a tool to get people into the arenas. We're going to go the double count out finish. And this helps keep the feud hot and keep people buying tickets in their hometown to the show. So we're going to go ahead and book this one. Start the show. Sonny Rogers gets the win. The Nasty Boys, of course, get the win. And the popularity is just not there yet. That causes the problem. Let's see if there's anything else here besides the 2 enhancement talents. Yeah, we're getting hit for experience. That's our issue. They're just not popular enough yet. That's all right. That'll change in time. All right. This match scores a 55. Sherri Martel gets another defense of her title, this time on television. Gagne gets a real nice score here of 83 over Tom Fuller. 68 overall for the bout. The Baron gets a nice score of 75. 64 overall for the bout. Bam! This is what I'm talking about, folks. 89 overall for the interview. Excellent job of Zbyszko with Larry Nelson. Exactly what we were looking for. A nice 69. Zbyszko uses the shoulder breaker on Julio Sideburns Rodriguez. And Slaughter and Snuka get a nice little score here, a 72. Not bad at all. 66 overall for Snuka that wins with that nerve claw. Good. We did much better here using them off of selling. We got a 72 for their promo, so this is a lot better than what we've been seeing. And we should get a nice score for the main event. Oof, we only get a 77 overall. 69, 81, 80, 87. And somehow we get a 77 overall. I don't think this is going to be good for our overall score. I think we might be in a little bit of trouble here. So let's see what happens. Not too happy with this. We still get an up in all 25 regions, so I can't complain. All right, let's move on to All-Star Wrestling. As usual, we're going to go ahead and update right off the bat to which show we're booking. Other guys, you know I will book the wrong show. All right, so we got Renesto Jr. versus Mitch Snow. If Mitch Snow is available, of course. We'll check right away. There's Tom Renesto Jr. And there is Mitch Snow. He's actually here. Wow. Cut this one down to 3 minutes. And Mitch Snow goes over. Again, I liked Mitch Snow's look. I thought he was a decent wrestler. So I would like to keep using him when he's available. All right, we got Jones and Pullins versus the Top Guns. And that's W.T. Jones and Keith Pullins. There's our Top Guns right there. We put these two over on TV all the time, trying to get their popularity up. John Paul will get the win for the team. I got high hopes for the Top Guns. Unfortunately, they just lack in skill. So we'll see what we can do. Wayne Bloom, we're going to get Wayne Bloom, the newcomer, on some TV here. And we're going to have him go over Frank Reece. This will probably not get a good score because Wayne Bloom's a rookie. I mean, he is brand new. In real life, I think he came over to the AWA in about 89 after working for Pro Wrestling America for Eddie Sharkey, who originally brought him in. But that's okay. I mean, he was an AWA name at one point, so might as well bring him in now. Like I said, we're going to do some roster changes here before the next tour starts. We're going to bump some people out. So Wayne Bloom's a guy that's got a great look, big dude, got a lot of potential. All right, so we're booked. Wayne Bloom, of course, gets the win. Tom Rocky Stone is going to face DJ Peterson. And one of our subscribers here on the show let me know that he looked it up, and Tom Stone actually got 3 wins in his career in the AWA. So he probably went like 3 and 350. But he got the wins, so good for him. I was wrong when I said I didn't think that Tom Stone had ever gotten a win. So somebody looked it up, and Tom Stone did get 3 wins. So thank you very much for the research, and good for you, Tom Stone. And again, I've brought it up before, but if you didn't hear it, if you go online Tom Stone did some shoot interviews, and he did some really cool stuff, and he talks about old school AWA. So if you are into 70s and early 80s AWA, even into the mid 80s, late 80s, Tom Stone was there, and he tells some really interesting stories. So Blackie Guzman, the man with the killer hat and the name that just does not jive with the times, he's going to face Rip Oliver. And Rip Oliver is going to rip him up. Well, I never heard that about Rip Oliver. I heard he was a nasty dude, but I don't think he was one to take liberties with people. So, in the illusion of the match, Rip Oliver is going to tear him up. So, Oliver gets the win. And we got Bob Backlund doing a promo. So, let's take a look again. We know that Bob Backlund delivers a better promo than the Iron Sheik. So, we are going to give Bob Backlund the 5 minutes. And we know he's cutting the promo on Mr. Saito, a.k.a. Masa Saito. And we know that Bobby's doing the promo with Eric Bischoff, who has taken over the host duties of All-Star Wrestling. And they're going to be talking about Mr. Saito here. So Backlund rated on microphone. Bischoff remains non-rated. And Saito stays off screen. So that one's booked. And who do we got in the ring here? Jose Medina is going to face Bob Backlund. Get Bob Backlund a nice little enhancement win here. And once again, there's a lot of new people tuning into the show, and they're catching these later episodes. So if you don't quite understand what's going on here, it's simple. I'm running the true to life format. It was all squash matches with maybe one or two serious matches that usually ended in a DQ or count out or the heel cheating to win. So I strive for realism. So we keep these things as realistic as possible. So the Iron Sheik is going to cut a promo here. And I got to check to see if he's actually in a certified feud with Billy Robinson. Ugh, messed that up. Storylines right there. And he is. So we're going to make sure to get that straight. And last time we had some success off of charisma for the Iron Sheik. So we're going to try that again. And we're going to make sure we put Billy Robinson on there. And of course, Billy Robinson is off screen. So there we go. That one's booked up. Let's see who the Sheik is going to mangle here. Oh, they're not. He's just got a promo. Okay. Well, Knight and Villo are going to wrestle Rose and Summers. We could have done a Rose and Summers promo, I guess, but I think it makes sense to... see that? Alex Knight is being used. So we're going to throw Chris Zarna in there instead. So Sam Villo, Chris Zarna versus Rose and Summers. So here we go, Villo and Zarna versus Rose and Summers. Yeah, there's two space there. All right, let's have Buddy Rose get the win. Buddy Rose gets the win. And our last promo here of the show. Hopefully we're not getting any feedback into the microphone, but a really bad rainstorm just started here, folks. So I don't know if you can hear that or not. I hope not. I think we got this isolated pretty well. So Sergeant Slaughter cuts a promo. And again, this one is open-ended because the Sarge is not in a feud with anybody at this time. So we're going to put Eric Bischoff with him, and then we're going to leave it be. Eric Bischoff's on screen, unrated, booked. And here in our main event is going to be the Sheik versus Slaughter. So that's why we had them earlier. This one's going to go 14. And we are going to have Sergeant Slaughter go over by DQ. So again, we keep that real-to-life thing going, where the main events very rarely had a conclusive finish. They were just a setup to get you to buy tickets for when the AWA came to your town. So let's go ahead and get this show started. We're booked out. Wow, what a killer score. 18. What are you going to do? Oh, this one's even worse. A 15. Well, as you know, we've talked about it before. I consider our premium show, Championship Wrestling and All-Star Wrestling, to be like our secondary show, so this is okay. Oh, no. 18, 15, 14. We're getting worse. So, Wayne Bloom wins with that power bomb, and Wayne Bloom has got a whole lot working against him here. Hey, we got a 41. DJ Peterson gets a win over Rocky Stone with that second rope diving shoulder block. Nice. Rip Oliver scores us a 50, scores a 58 for himself, a 43 overall. He uses the tombstone pile driver, which I'm fine with because it's a variation of the pile driver and not just a straight up pile driver that 3 other guys are using. So that's cool with me. All right, nice promo here from Bob Backlund. Gets us an 83 overall. We needed that. He gets a 70 in his match. Medina taps. He quits to that crossface chicken wing. I don't blame him. I would quit too. Bobby B scores a 90. Very nice here in a 3-minute match. And there it is. He gets the bonus for a well-executed squash. Got some nice bonus here. Excellent. Moving right along. Sheik does okay with a 69 promo. Fair enough. 62. Rose and Summers putting up some good numbers here. No doubt. Maybe the next tour they'll work the loop against the Midnight Rockers again. We'll see. That's a lot of green. That is a lot of green here, and that's good. All right, this one's disappointing. That Slaughter only got a 68. It's very disappointing. Usually gets us far better promos than that. I wonder what's going on here. Nice. This is a nice overall score for the top match. Probably saved our show. Very nice. Very nice 82 overall. All right, we maxed out in all our regions. Very nice. Going to take us back to the main screen here. I'm going to set us back to the tour schedule here. And let's get back here. We're back home to the main screen. And of course, we got our typical time to heels from everybody else that's working for other people. Scott Hall talking some trash about Stevie Butler. Dick Slater talking some trash about Houdini. That's why they're enhancement talents, boys. No sense talking about them. So, Vicky Williams going to the WWF. Fair enough. All right, here's our contracts. And this is all enhancement talents, so I'll take care of that off camera. And that concludes us for this episode, folks. I hope you enjoyed another TV taping. There's always fun and surprises with these TV tapings. I know I tend to get a little irritated, but I think just about everybody does when it comes to TV tapings. You just never really know what you're going to get. So to close things out here, folks, if you would like this mod, the 1987 Supermod version 7.0, please contact me at braddrake.net. Just let me know. Be more than happy to send it over to you. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button. Join the party here. Help us continue to grow. And make sure you give us a like. And share this with your friends. Get it out there. And again, help our community to keep growing. And speaking of community, Facebook.com/groups/1987supermod. That's Facebook.com/groups/1987supermod is where you can join us in conversation about this mod and your save and everything else going on. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and so long for now.